Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Good morning. We are going to session 33 of the course. In the previous session, I discussed word tree, okay, and as illustration, I showed you this tree of words starting from the root word act, okay, and then we proceeded to other things, and that did not reflect on the assignment. Okay. So, today's discussion along with yesterday's discussion together will reflect in the assignment here. Okay. Some words will be given in this assignment, and with that etymologically connected words you will need to find out and provide illustrations regarding their parts of speech. And there is a non-trivial reason why yesterday, even after discussing word tree, it did not reflect in the assignment. I want to discuss that topic a little more. Okay? And I already told you that if you want to make a word tree and you do not want to spend so much of labor as my team member has done in constructing this kind of a thing, then that is all right. You can put all the things in this, all the fruits you put in a tub and deliver that tub wherever we want it. Okay. So, this is good enough, but what we insist on is that the parts of speech should be mentioned. Okay. Otherwise, we will not be sure whether you have taken that word with full understanding. Okay. Now, we want to do a little bit of more work on this. Okay. So, for that I take the help of the audience here and ask them to tell me a few words related to inspect, spectrum, okay, related to C. Okay. And what I will do here is that the words that they supply, I will write in 4 columns. Two central columns and one left and one right. Okay. So, please tell some words. Speculation, very good idea. Speculation. Anything else?
Circumspect.
Circumspect.
Spectator.
Spectator, okay, fine.
Spectacle.
Pardon?
Spectacle.
Spectacle, fine.
Introspect.
Huh?
Introspect.
Introspect, fine. What else?
Spectre.
Good.
Prospect.
Prospect, good. Suspect, good. What else?
Speculation.
Speculation.
Speculation is there.
Oh, speculation is already there. You are speculating too much. Spectrum, yes.
Speckle, will it come?
Pardon?
Speckle. S-P-E-C-K-L-E. Speckled band. Speckle.
I think it will fall somewhere here. What else? Spectacles, yes. Spectacles is already there. Spectacles, fine. Let us save space. Okay. Board is costly. Spectacular, yes.
Yes. Inspect.
Inspect is already okay, fine. Spectacular.
Introspection, inspection.
Fine, fine, fine. Perspective, yes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Now quickly tell the parts of speech. Speculation,
Noun.
noun. Circumspect,
Adjective.
verb,
Verb.
verb, primarily verb.
Okay.
Spectator,
Noun.
noun. Spectacle,
Noun.
what is the meaning? No.
No. Scene.
Scene. When you put that S, then it is glasses. Okay. Introspect, verb. Spectre, what is the meaning? Okay, ghost. Some vision which you see, ghost, yes. Prospect
Verb.
and
Noun.
both. Okay. Aspect,
Noun.
noun. Respect,
Noun. Verb.
noun and verb. Suspect,
Noun and verb. Verb and noun both. He was the suspect. He was suspected. He was suspected for the crime, and he was the suspect.
can it be adjective also?
Yes.
Spectrum, spectrum is noun. Spectacular, adjective. Very good. And you know something? Now I am not talking to you, I am talking to my audience. Okay? My little audience here has not made many mistakes. Okay? Because of two reasons. They are very serious, and apart from that, they have already seen what I am going to show you next. Okay? Durga, read the first line.
Spectrum, inspect, spectacle, spectate, speculate, respect, prospect, aspect, introspect, spectacles,
Spectacles,
perspective.
perspective. Okay. So spectacle is here and spectacles is here. Okay. Fine. Read some of them in the leftmost branches.
Spectral.
Yes.
Inspection.
When you cover the branches, cover them till depth.
Spectral. Spectrally. Spectrality.
Okay.
Inspect,
From inspect,
inspection. Inspective. Inspectable. Inspectability.
and so on. Okay. So lots of them. Now, if the people here in the studio were not serious, and if they had not seen this thing, see, they were telling partly from what strikes their mind now and what comes from memory. Okay. If they had not been serious, or and if they were not privy to part of the information, then some of them would fire some of these words also. Species, speciate, speciation, specimen, specific, specify, specification, specifically, specially, specialize, specialization, etc. These are part of a different tree. Okay? These are part of a neighboring tree. Okay? So, species. After seeing this, you might find that this is a far-fetched imagination, that somebody talking about these words here will inadvertently land into the branches of this tree, this species tree, and tell wrong words. But it is quite possible, it happens. And another neighboring tree which is related, another neighboring tree which also is likely to confuse is the tree of speech. Okay. And if you do not believe that, then let me tell you some background story. First time when I asked people to give words related to act, then I got some crazy words in the test. Some people wrote fact, pact, tract, and then tractable, intractable, and so on, which are not etymologically connected to act. Okay. So, they have their own families. Okay. So, sometimes it happens that the neighboring boy comes to your house and plays with your child, and then a guest comes, then guest thinks that you have a good number of children. Okay. So, that happens. Okay. So, if that happens when you are trying to interpret a particular word, then you are likely to make a mistake there. So, be careful. Okay. So, this is why I am telling you that be careful about trees that are misleading. Okay. Sometimes neighboring trees mislead you as if they are etymologically connected, but etymologically they are not connected. Rhyming words are not necessarily etymologically connected. Okay. Fine. So, this is one thing that we wanted to do today, and certainly we wanted to do before asking you to get trees which are etymologically connected, because we do not want you to fall in that trap and produce a large number of words which do not belong to the right tree, but to a neighboring misleading tree. Okay. So, be careful about that. Okay. In the yesterday's lesson plan, I had a little plan of having some practice of parsing. Okay. And due to lack of time, we did not go into that. So, we will go into that today. Okay. So, some examples. So, this is the first paragraph of the first Sherlock Holmes story or novel written by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Okay. So, this is the point from where Sherlock Holmes came to life, let us say. And before this, in the beginning part of this, Dr. Watson did not know Sherlock Holmes. This is a story in which they come to know each other, okay, and then strike a lifelong partnership. So, this is the first paragraph of all Sherlock Holmes literature, and we will take this as an example, which is in a way for you direction to do this exercise, this assignment. In this assignment, which is yesterday's assignment, I asked you to read a fresh story, that means not the story which you summarized 10 days back, a fresh story from the internet, collect 100 sentences from it for analyzing later. Okay. Right now, do not analyze, right now do not parse them, right now just select them and keep, okay, in folder. So, 25 simple sentences, 25 compound sentences, 25 complex, 25 mixed. That means, this one having single clause, each such sentence will have a single clause, that means single subject. I mean, the subject could be boys, that is not a problem, okay. That is still a single subject, okay, and single verb in the role of a verb. Okay. In this case, there will be two such clauses or more, two or more such clauses, all equally prominent. In this case, complex, there will be one main clause and other clauses will be subordinate, will be operating as nouns and or adjectives or adverbs. This will be sort of mixed, that is, from outward look, a sentence might look like a complex sentence, but inside individual clauses may be compound, or from outside look it may look like compound and inside clauses may be complex. Okay. So, 4 such sub collections will be there in this collection of 100, and all should be from that particular story, okay, which you read from the internet now for this purpose. And in your submission assignment, submission of the assignment, at the top before the 4 collections of sentences, provide these things: title and author's name and the URL, so that if we want, we can read that story. We will have to read story with you now. Okay. So, these collections, these 4 collections will be useful for you for later assignments. Okay. So, now let us we have already shown you some examples, but that we showed you in the form of already parsed sentences. Okay. So, this one, some 9 examples we showed you in the previous session. Some were simple, some were compound, some were complex. Okay. So, this we have earlier seen. Now, today we will do a little practice in the same line on this, a study in Scarlet. So, right now we survey the sentences. So, there are 5 sentences in this paragraph. What kind of a sentence is the first one? Compound. And take one clause of it and tell me and from that clause also throw away the additional extra things. Tell me the bare minimum of that particular clause. I took my degree is one clause and other things are coming with that. Okay. So, I took my degree and proceeded to Netley. Okay. These are the 2 prime things which are must. Okay. These are the 2 things that are being said. I took my degree and I proceeded to Netley. Okay. And other things are hanging here and there, okay, anchoring here and there with things already here. So, I took my degree and I proceeded to Netley. Both are equally prominent. So, this is a compound sentence. And apart from these 2 clauses, I took my degree along with its associated things and I proceeded to Netley with its own associated things, there is no other third clause. Okay. To go is not a verb in the role of a verb, it is an infinitive. Okay. Prescribed is not in the role of verb, that is currently adjective. Okay. Fine. The second sentence, what kind of sentence is that? Simple. Okay. And what is its bare minimum thing? I was duly attached, that is it. Okay. And other things are here and there. Having completed are not verbs in the action of in the role of verbs right now. Okay. Having is 5th form, operating as adverb, and as along with having. So, with the underlying verb have, this is getting attached, completed. So, that way this whole thing is part of a perfect construction.
Sir, having completed, then having, can we interpret as infinite verb? No.
Of course, it is.
Oh. Yeah.
Having is infinite verb, certainly. Completed is also infinite verb. So, all these 3rd form, 5th form and 2 plus verb, they are infinite verbs. Certainly, they are infinite verbs. That is a technical term. Okay. So, this is participle and this is infinitive. Okay. So, they are certainly infinite verbs. Was is the main verb of this sentence. Attached. Attached is complement, part of the complement, okay, and that is in the 3rd form, okay, in the adjective form. Okay. Fine. So, it is a simple sentence. I was attached is the thing. Okay. Subject, verb, complement, and in this case the complement is adjective. Okay. It could have been noun. Okay. Fine. 3rd sentence, mixed. Oh, the regiment was stationed in India at the time, and yes, it is mixed. It is mixed. So, nominally, superficially, from outside look, what it is? Compound. Yes, it is compound. And what is the first clause of that first constituent of that compound?
The regiment was stationed.
That is it. The regiment was stationed. These things are details. Okay. And what is the central bit of the second clause?
The second Afghan war had broken out.
The second Afghan war had broken out. Okay, fine. So that is the second clause, and there is a third clause which is making it mixed. I could join it. Okay, these three are the clauses. So I could join it is a subordinate clause which is operating as adverb to this one. Okay, this had broken out, had broken out. So this is providing the time of that. So this is mixed, which is from outside nominally compound sentence, but one of the clauses itself has a complex interior structure. Fine. This one?
It is complex,
Really? Really?
mixed.
What else it could be?
And from the
So it is
outside
mixed.
looks
And mixed. And nominally from outside glance?
complex.
Complex. Yes. And what is the central bit of the main clause?
I learned that.
I learned. I learned. Okay. I learned. I learned something. Okay. So that object is the big clause starting from here. Okay. And my corpse. Okay. So what is the second clause inside this?
After that,
After that, my corpse had advanced. Okay. Then through the passage's details, and the third clause,
was already deep.
my corpse was already deep. Okay. So nominally, it is a complex sentence in which the main clause is I learned. Its object is this subsidiary clause, and the subsidiary clause itself has a compound structure. Okay. This is one and this is another, okay, with common subject, my corpse. Okay. Last one,
Mixed.
mixed, very happily mixed, okay, and thoroughly mixed. So what is the main?
Are followed.
No, what is the kind from outside? Compound, okay, and I followed is one core of one of the constituent clauses, and I succeeded is the second, and I entered. That is one interpretation. Okay. So there is one interpretation according to which it is nominally a compound sentence having three clauses: I followed, I succeeded, and I entered. This is one interpretation. And in that, in this I followed, in this detail with many other officers, the officers is qualified by a subordinate clause. So inside complex structure. Okay. In one of the equally prominent three clauses, one of the clauses, I followed this up to this point, okay, up to this point beforehand. This clause in its details has a subordinate clause who were in the same situation as myself.
Adjective.
Of course, adjectives, certainly adjectives. Okay. So this clause is showing internal complex structure. And then in the second clause, I succeeded in reaching Kandahar in safety. Okay. Kandahar is qualified by another
I found my
where I found my regiment, okay,
again.
which is again this could be interpreted in a continuative sense also, because where I found my regiment is not the property of Kandahar, that is more details. Okay. So I would say that this where is right now interpretable in the form of and there, because where I found my regiment is not a property of Kandahar. Okay. It is part of the message being communicated. Okay. It is part of the message being communicated. So this where is actually continuative. It is continuation of what is being communicated, and this is properly interpreted as and there. Okay. So, and there, after reaching Kandahar in safety, I found my regiment and at once entered upon my duties. Okay. So, this is compound certainly, and then it looks like it has 4 clauses that way. Okay. So, I followed is one clause with details coming up to this point. Some part of the details involve a subordinate clause, and then second clause is I succeeded in reaching Kandahar in safety, and the third clause is there I found my regiment, and the fourth clause is I at once entered upon my new duties. So, total 5 clauses, 4 coordinating clauses making up the compound and one subordinate clause which is coming as the qualifier to officers.
So can it construed as like the following, that with many officers who were in the same situation
That also is another interpretation, that is what I was thinking.
and also succeeded?
So, in that case for the later, but then this last one here again I is coming. So, that is ruling out that we. Okay. So, that interpretation was possible, that everything Dr. Watson does with other officers, but no, of course, that is what he might have done, okay, but that is not what he is telling, because he is not that interested in the other officers. Okay. So, he went with the other officers, this was important, otherwise we will be concerned about the difficulties that he might have encountered on the way. So, for that he has told, and it would seem very unnatural that this fellow alone is going, nobody with him. Okay. So, it comes more natural that he found himself in the same situation, in the same boat as we say, with a few other officers, and together they did things. After that also, the rest of the things also they might have done, but in their own respective diaries, those other officers might have written, I found my regiment and I joined, and so on. Right now what we are seeing is what Watson has written. Okay. Fine. So, we found one compound and one simple and then 3 mixed. Okay. This one, this mixed one had outward compound structure and inside a clause was complex. This was also similar, 4 clauses in compound structure and one of them had another subordinate clause inside the detail. Okay. And this one was to begin with externally complex, and inside one clause had 2 subclauses and that structure was compound. Okay. So, a little elaboration of this, because here we need to rig this to work out the details correctly. Okay. So, here it will look like till this point. Okay. Then I am writing this and. At that time, they used to write Kandahar with this spelling. Now it is K. Okay. So, we have reached till this point, and for the correct sense we are going to reinterpret this where. As and there, I found my regiment. we have come till this point. Okay? This end. And finally, so you can interpret it as a compound sentence consisting of 4 clauses, this one and this one, and there this one and this one. Or you can interpret it as a compound sentence having 2 clauses, one is this one and there onwards, the rest of it is here. This clause itself has 2 subclauses in the compound structure. This clause also has 2 subclauses in the compound structure, out of which this first one has, until this point it is compound all through. Okay, till this point it is compound all through, except for this spoil sport, okay, where in the first clause with many other officers, this officers is qualified by this adjective clause, who were in the same situation as myself. Okay. So, that makes it mixed. Okay. So, this is the way to classify sentences as simple, compound, complex and mixed. It is not necessary to be an expert in this classification, as long as you understand everything that is written in books and as long as you can express everything that you think. But in order to capture the logic, in order to have a little practice on the logic, I am asking you to keep in mind these definitions and these senses of simple, compound, complex and mixed. After these 10 days, even if you forget, it does not matter. Okay? There are many people who know very good English without ever bothering about what is a complex sentence, what is a compound sentence and so on. Okay? But we are trying here to capture the logic behind it, which actually operates behind the scene when you operate with English. For example, at the time of walking on the street, you do not know complicated rules of physics according to which you can balance your body with over 2 legs and sometimes with over 1 leg, sometimes with a fingertip when your first leg is about to reach the ground and the second leg has started lifting, you are running. Okay. So, you do not need to know that complicated physics, nor do you need to know the complicated signal transmission mechanism from your brain to your feet and then back and so on. You do not need to do all that, but in the subconscious that takes place. Okay. So, for 10 days keep these technical discussions, in fact semi-technical discussions, because we are not really going into too deep. Okay. Keep these semi-technical discussions in your primary memory, because this you will need, because I am asking you to classify those 100 selected sentences which you select for later analysis into simple, compound, complex and mixed. So, when you do that, you follow through this logic a little, then your own work in the later assignments will become easier. Okay. So, with later sessions and later assignments, we will meet you again. Right now, we stop here. Okay. Thank you.